Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick. Today is May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
May it be with you as well.
Favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh, Empire Strikes Back. I mean, it's just like a legendary movie, right? What about you?
Well, the reason I didn't like Empire Strikes Back, because they put these movies out every 10 years.
Yeah.
It was such a cliffhanger. I'm original. The first one.
All right.
With Luke Skywalker getting started. I remember being in the movie theater, and when the stormtroopers boarded the ship in the very beginning.
Okay.
Dude, changed my life, man.
Yeah?
Like, changed Christmases forever. I had the Death Star, the TIE Fighter,
Yeah.
the X-Wing fighter. I had it all.
My dad was super into Star Wars, so we started watching it quite a bit, and then now that we've had all the additions to it, my son's been super into it. So we actually, probably like a month ago, we did a full series with me and my son. We watched the whole thing.
Yeah, dude.
It was cool.
Well, anyways, we're not here to talk about Star Wars. We are here to talk about the real estate market in the great state of Arizona, more importantly, the Phoenix metropolitan area. You're going to want to go ahead and text the word market to 623-AZRECON. That's market to 623-AZRECON. So, Justin, I want to talk, briefly just kind of about the buyer's perspective right now, who you want to be as a buyer, seller's perspective, who you want to be as a seller, because it's interesting. I just have not seen an impact from the war in Iran. Like, I thought that, and I know gas prices are through the roof and things like that, but dude, we are busy. We are transacting, and
Yeah.
it's almost like it's almost like there isn't a war going on, and it hasn't had the impact on the real estate market like other events have.
I agree with you. I mean, I think for maybe the third week of March, we saw a little bit of a slowdown, and I don't know if that has any impact on what was happening over there, or if it was like spring break. But yeah, it's been busy. I think I was talking to you guys the other day. I feel like we're about to have one of the busiest months since 2021. So that says something.
We've had 3 closings this week already.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them was ours, and we'll get into that into the next episode this month when we talk about flipping. So first of all, I want to talk about sellers. The question is, everybody reads about days on market, days on market, days on market. Days on market, I think, is a misnomer, because we don't take a look at the overall days on market in an area. We always take a look at how many days did it take for a house to go under contract when the seller figured out the right price. Because if you've got a house that's overpriced, it's going to increase the days on market. And the one thing that I have found for sellers, the houses that we have listed or the houses that we are flipping, that when you walk in, you go, I can move in right now. I can live in this place. I don't have to do any work. We are seeing just offers coming in on opening weekends.
And that's what I'm seeing too on my end. I feel like it's strange sitting from my seat, right? We hear all the talk from the agents like, hey, I can't sell these listings. I can't sell. And then we're always calling the listing agent on offers, and we're calling these listing agents on certain offers, and they've got multiple offers. And at first we're like, yeah, right. You don't have multiple offers. And It's true though. We've been seeing it. It's like there's a bidding war on the properties again. I mean, they're not going crazy, but you're getting multiple offers, different kind of financing.
And you're getting full price offers.
Yeah.
Like we have an investor. He bought a flip in a, just I would say, an older neighborhood and a little rundown. The houses around look like they all need work. He went in and he did everything to the house, even the front of the house. So when you drive by, this house stood out. And I'm like, I don't know how long it's going to take us. And I overpriced it. Like I'm like, okay, opening weekend, let's just take it out for a spin. And I couldn't believe the activity that we had.
Really?
And we went under contract within 48 hours and other offers started to come in. And we're like, sorry.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, there's a lot to be said for that the street appeal, right? And if you're fixing up a house right, yeah. I think that there is a flood on the market of rundown properties that people aren't taking care of. And I've noticed in a lot of, because people send me the addresses, so I like to check them out each time. I've noticed all the clutter in a lot of these homes that are listed too, and it just isn't appealing even online. I can't imagine when I'm going into the house and paying a few $100,000 to buy a home. But yeah, I feel like you've nailed it. When you're seeing these clean homes, been taken care of or updated, they're going quick.
And they're going and they're getting top dollar for it. And so that's the point of the matter is if you're trying to sell your house, I always encourage you, hop in the car, drive around the block, pretend you're the buyer, pull up. What do you see right away? Walk in the front door. What do you see right away? What do you smell right away?
Yeah.
And it's imperative if you want to sell your house for top dollar in this market and you want to get it sold quickly, you're going to need to put some money into it.
So when you're talking about putting money into it, I always hear you guys say, put paint on it. Paint's a big deal, but how do you feel about, carpet that you've cleaned the carpet? Is it better to have brand new carpet or is it better to clean it? Do you clean the tile? Do you, or is it okay just to, have it just cleaned up, not have an actual cleaner come out and clean the tile?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all of it. It's first of all, the paint, absolutely. Take as much clutter down, take as many of the family pictures off the wall, patch every single hole, paint the entire interior, and maybe consider painting the exterior. Unfortunately, we have crews that you can get it done for just a really good price.
And quick.
And then as far as the flooring goes, if the carpet's got to look brand new, and if you can clean that carpet, then go for it. Hire a professional company to do it. Don't go to Home Depot and rent one of those machines to do it yourself. But if oftentimes, though, replacing the carpet's a lot better than old carpet. But if you're going to replace the carpet, I always recommend paying a little extra money and put some sort of vinyl down or tile down because that sells quickly.
Rather than the carpet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on these homes that you're selling that are in great shape, are you guys giving concessions on those? Is the seller having to give concessions, or is there so much of a battle for these properties that they're not having to give up these concessions?
There's always in this market an element of concessions, but going back to this house that we just put on the market this weekend, the offer came in at full price, but they were asking for like 3% in concessions. VA buyer, so my investor's like, okay, let's work with them on this. But then what we do is great if you want these concessions. Then and what we did on this one. We increased the purchase price by $9,000. So we'll meet you in the middle. We'll contribute some concessions, but we're going to have you pay more for the house. And they wanted the house because this thing was move-in ready, kick-ass pool, new countertops, the whole new showers, the whole enchilada. And so people are like, okay, yeah, because they don't understand that. Just because you receive an offer, a full price offer on your home, and the buyer's asking for the sun and the stars or the moon and the stars, there's still negotiating room to come back and say, okay, if you really want this house, instead of $420, we're going to sell it to you for $430. But we also have to be very confident that it's going to appraise at that. So it's just one of our strategies.
I think there's a lot to be said about that strategy, compared to not doing any work on the home, because you're going to expect concessions all day long on a property that you've done no work to. But you're not going to be able to increase the sale price. In fact, you're probably going to have to come below the median market value on the property and still pay concessions. So, putting new paint and carpet into it, at the end, it's a good investment.
It's a great investment. And then we'll come over there and we'll take a look at the kitchen. We'll take a look at the bathrooms. Give you some advice if you want top dollar. And oftentimes you're getting dollar for dollar. If I redo the kitchen, I may not get more money, But I'll get more money in the sense that if I put $15,000 into the kitchen, I'm going to sell the house for $15,000 more. There's not more of a profit, but that house will fly off the shelf.
And you're not going
And
to sit
eh,
there for
yeah.
120 days and pay interest on the house when you're trying to get out. It makes so much sense.
And then the other thing, the other best investment you can make if you're selling your house. So I'm just going to say you're welcome because you're going to thank me for this. Put aside 300, 400, $500. Get a storage shed somewhere, and put all your shit in there. We've all been on Zillow and Realtor.com, and when you're going through the pictures, all of the clutter, get rid of it because that is a turnoff. Because if you're trying to sell your house and your next door neighbor's house has no clutter and has the paint and the carpet, you're going to be sitting on the market for a while.
So, do you think it's better? Okay, so let's say I've already bought home number 2 and home number 1 I'm listing. Is it better for me to keep my furniture there that maybe it's nice furniture, or do you suggest like staging?
Yeah, Ryan and I, we've and God rest his soul. He's he's not here today. We've got round and round about this. Definitely, I think there's a price point. When you've got a house that's $700,000 and above, and it's vacant, it's worth the staging.
Yeah.
I think so. You know, we hurt people's feelings because people go, well, I'll just leave my furniture. My furniture's good. Well, oftentimes it's not good. So you can stage in certain areas. You don't have to stage in the entire house. Ryan and I, we just did our flip in McCormick Ranch. Every room was staged, but it's a $1.6 million
Sure.
listing. But yeah, but you can just stage. Again, when you walk in, what do you see? What is the kitchen? I would stage the kitchen. I would stage at least the front area so that when people walk in, because first impressions are everything, right? If I walk in and I'm already don't like the house, you're going to be very hard pressed to sell it to me. So that's a little bit on the listing side. If you'd like some help, if you're having a hard time selling your house, maybe you're doing a for sale by owner, or you're thinking about selling your house, or you just want someone who can come in and paint. Go ahead and just text the word market to 623-AZ-RECON. That's market to 623-AZ-RECON. And also just to learn more about our strategies when it comes down to negotiations. And we don't want you to give away the farm. Now I want to flip on to the other side of the buyers. Buyers want a good deal. If that house is just hitting the market and that house is in just about perfect shape, you still might get a good deal. You're going to get a fair deal. You're going to be paying market price for it, or market value for it. If you want a deal, you have to be creative. You have to have a little bit of an imagination. You have to have a little bit of money set aside, because when you walk into a house where there's a bunch of clutter and it needs paint and the carpets need to be ripped up and the exterior paint needs to be painted, which if it's an HOA, I got a awesome trick for you. And the house has been on the market, you will get a better deal on the house, and you will probably get it, far under what the costs are going to be to fix that house up. You just gotta make up your mind. Do you want the perfect house ready to move in? Okay, you're gonna pay top dollar for it. If you want really a good deal, you're going to look for houses that have been on the market for a while and do not have any kind of curb appeal and any kind of just that instant appeal when you walk in that front door.
What's the day that you're looking at? Like the number of days when you're looking for that deal? What do you suggest?
For me, once we're past 60 days, I feel like, okay, the seller's feeling stressed. They've made 2 mortgage payments. But I love anything above 100 days. When it's been on the market 100 days,
that's like your sandbox.
And especially when we have that ability to read the reports. If a house has been on the market for 100 days, I can tell whether it's been under contract 3 times and fell out. Now that seller's really pissed. Or if it's just been on the market for 100 days, and oftentimes it's been on the market for 100 days because it's overpriced, and the inside doesn't look very good. And if the house is perfect and it's overpriced, it's still going to sit. I'm looking for the pain, the seller's pain.
You want the one that's been under contract 3 times.
I'd take either.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But the point of the matter is we can figure all that out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
and to that point, if it's been under the contract for a good number of times, we're going to pick up the phone and we're going to call the agent. Goes, what's going on? And then we're going to get, because once you get that other agent talking and singing, you can get a lot of information.
A lot of good information for negotiation.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've seen you guys pull off so many good deals in the last few years with always, but especially the last few years when people are saying that they're not getting their buyers to transact or they're not being able to sell their homes, and you guys are out here still doing all kinds of work and getting these homes under contract. Buyers are super happy. It's good info.
So one of the tricks, I was going to give a trick. So when you're buying a house and it's got to be in an HOA, and you come up on the house and the exterior paint looks questionable. It looks old or whatever the case is. I'm not opposed to having a buyer call the HOA and just say, hey, we're buying such and such property, and would be curious if you'd be willing to do a drive-by and let me know whether this house is going to be, if I'm going to be required to paint it. And if the HOA goes out and says, oh, yeah, it's going to need to be painted, all of a sudden the seller gets that letter from the HOA and you can't close until it gets painted.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. Well, and what a money saver right there, too. That's almost...
This is a true story. So one of our investors, this happened. And so the HOA came back and said, every house has to be painted within the last 6 years.
Okay.
And the seller or the listing agent goes, yeah, he painted it. I'm like, well, we need documentation. And so I was out there the day before we were supposed to close. And I'm just looking at it. I'm like, there's just no way. I mean, no way. If you're driving by, it looked fine, but when you're up close, so I'm like, all right. And the listing agent couldn't get me the documentation and proof that it had been painted, so I called the HOA, and she's like, "Oh, Mike, thank you so much for calling. We have not been able to get this seller to paint and do this and so forth. Yes, it is going to need to be painted." I'm like, "Can you within the next 60 minutes shoot me a letter stating that?" And she did, and we ended up closing at $8,000 under. Within the 24 hours, we negotiated $8,000 less.
Beautiful.
For the property. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff.
And so they were able to get their whole exterior painted, probably the color that they wanted. Amazing.
The color that the HOA would approve, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's the color schemes, right,
yeah.
in the HOA, but the one that they picked.
They would have had to paint it.
Yeah.
And so, and they were willing to paint it, but they got the $8,000 that they needed to paint it.
That's super cool.
All right, well, that's the strategy. If you are a buyer and you're wanting a good deal, you're wanting a house that's going to take a little bit of imagination, a house that's going to need to be updated a little bit, and that's how you get a good deal. Again, if it's just hit the market and that house is just ready to eat off the floor, you're going to be paying fair market value for that property. If you'd like some more strategies on how we navigate these systems and navigate these negotiations, go ahead and text the word market to 623 AZRECON. That's market to 623 AZRECON.